All right, I'm about to give my whole review of the debate that's been the talk of the town lately. It's on every social media outlet. CNN live streamed it. I don't know if you've seen it yet. If you haven't seen the whole 90 minutes, hour and a half, you can find it on YouTube, CNN's channel, or some other news outlets, just so you can get the whole scope of everything that was said with the debate. And it's already been a lot of people reviewing it, giving an analysis, giving feedback as of what they've heard and what Trump stands and where Biden stands. It's a lot to really unpack, and probably still leaves a lot of questions in people's minds in terms of what's going to happen next, what they're expecting, who's going to get their vote. If you have seen it, are you still staying with your pick? Are you still staying with Trump? Now you moving to Biden, or are you still staying with Biden, or now moving to Trump? I've heard some people who are just going independent and say they rather write a name in. They're not Democrat nor Republican. Some people were looking for Robert F. Kennedy, but he dropped out. So now we have a rematch of these two from 2020. This is the second presidential rematch in the history of the United States. So it's making history in that sense. And I watched most of the debate last night. I got 70 minutes in, and I think I fell asleep the last 20. But when I woke back up, I went back and rewatched the replay just to catch the what I had missed. And they were just mainly talking about the age and is that a concern? Uh, no real facts or anything like that. But I definitely saw the majority of it, and I just wanted to go over some points that they made, and these aren't in any particular order in which they said them. And I know one thing Biden brought up when they was asking him what would he do to get the black vote, make black people feel comfortable voting for him this November, and he mentioned that he would make all first-time black home buyers be able to get a $10,000 tax credit. And he also said any black people still paying student loans, if those who have been paying for 10 years straight, they would get canceled out. So I don't know, any black people who are listening, you can take that, I guess, with a grain of salt. Use your best judgment. He might not even win. I don't think he's going to win again. And so these two points that he made about why they should vote for him, why black people should get his vote in November, he may not even win to be able to carry that out. Trump had just said that he'll take care of black families. He didn't go into any details. He did say that black people should be upset with Biden with the inflation and the cost of prices going up. So that was one of the questions CNN threw out. I don't know how they come up with the questions and who picks what, but that was one of them. Another thing they talked about was how to make childcare more affordable. And to me, that's a loaded question. They mentioned that it's more than $11,000 a year to raise a child in the United States, and I think inflation is playing a part in that. And they say if you have two kids in the United States, that now costs more than your rent each month or what you spend it on a child. Every month, that's more than rent because the cost of rent is going up as well. And so it's kind of hard. I don't know how you make having a child more affordable. I guess it depends on what you're buying. Some parents buying their children expensive things, others are on a budget. I guess if your child is going somewhere where it's tuition, you can go somewhere where it's free, a public school. It's just different things different parents do and how they spend money in which they can actually lower the cost of child care. You can only have one child as opposed to having multiples. I mean, you can't tell the daycare to lower your price for how much they're charging to watch your child during the day in terms of just trying to make child care and being a parent more affordable. I mean, that question can go a lot of different ways. Uh, Neither Biden nor Trump really answered that question. They were still answering the question before that one, so they kind of danced around that one, but they didn't really address it. But that's just me trying to give some sort of answer to that being a question that was asked, and to all of the parents out there who, buying groceries and including the kids in it, and how much more they're spending at the grocery store. That's just one thing. If you put your child in a summer camp program, how much that costs. All of this, it's a lot. And then another thing they did talk about, like I said, was the age thing. And to anyone listening, is the age of Biden and Trump an issue for you? Uh, you know, Trump is 78, Biden is 81, and so they will be considered actually part of that silent generation that comes right before the baby boomers. They're like the younger members of the silent generation. And so we're talking about both of them will be over 80, whoever wins once this term is up, once 2028 gets here. And so does their age concern you in terms of getting your vote? Do you think there should be a limit on when politicians in all positions can no longer run, not just the president? I'm talking judges, councilmen, aldermen, treasurers, all of that. Should there be a cap on the political age? Because these people just continue to run. When people continue to vote for them, there's nothing that really restricts them. Only thing with the presidency, the restriction is no more than 8 years. Then you can still go run and do something else if it not be the president. But politics itself has no age cap on it. And what do you all think? Should there be an age limit on these political positions? And then that way you just keep more younger people in the whole collective of it, who may have different ideas once they get in power or get certain positions. His age, health, I think all of that can be a concern, especially when you carry so much important things that you have to do in your political position, whether you're the president or governor, any of these. But right now, anyone can just run and keep running and be over 85 and still in Congress. So uh, I think that was something that they brought up that I wanted to point out. And they also brought up Social Security. And Donald was accusing Joe. His solution, Joe's, is to save Social Security is to continue to tax the rich people who make $400,000 or more a year. Continue to charge them more taxes to help keep Social Security going. Donald disagreed with that, and he just said the crazy, out of control spending and the money that's being sent to Ukraine and Russia and over there in Israel with the Jewish people in Hamas. Donald was saying that all of that money being spent is what's killing the country, and which will hurt Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare. And so anyone who's listening, do you think Social Security will be here 10 years from now, or what will be left of it? Are you concerned about it? Should we not even rely on it or use that as some sort of future financial safety net? My own mother tells me, don't rely on that once you get to retirement age. You can have it, but don't let that be what you're leaning back on once you retire. But either way, it's definitely an issue if it's a possibility Social Security will not be available, and what the government is doing, playing a hand in that, to where the spending is out of control and Social Security is being taken from. So that's something that they brought up in the debate, and just something that we can all keep our eyes out for, to see where Social Security goes in over the years. And for those who actually watched it, were all of your questions answered? Do you feel that they tackled all of your issues? Is an hour and a half probably not enough time to do so? I know they got another debate on September 10th. That's the second one. I think that's the last one before the election in November. Then you got the Democratic National Convention in Chicago in August. And so Joe may address some more issues there. I'm not sure if the Republicans, I'm thinking they're going to have a national convention as well, and where Donald can speak more about anything that wasn't covered in this first debate going into the second debate. And maybe a lot of other issues that you didn't hear that were addressed, or questions that weren't asked by CNN. I don't know how they make up the list of questions, but they say Donald and Joe, both sides, agreed to the questions being asked. I think it's still a lot of other things that were still not covered. And then again, like I say, an hour and a half, that's not enough to cover what needs to be done in this country to get it on the right track, especially with the inflation. So we just have to pay attention a little bit more between now and November, and see what gets done and what also gets said. I know they brought up abortion as well, and the abortion pill, and the time in which a woman can get an abortion, the cutoff time. And so that'll definitely be something for people to pay attention to, in terms of where your vote will go if you are voting. Some people may be sitting this one out. I think it's a big election, considering what the country has gone through, from coronavirus to inflation, and then just to the high prices, and people being laid off at jobs in the past year and a half, and people complaining that they can't find work. It's a lot going on. And with all that being said, do you feel your vote matters still? Do you think it'll change anything? I know some people who I've heard say, no, my vote doesn't count. I've not seen any change. I've been voting over the years, but everything is still status quo. I haven't seen any benefits, no improvements. So you have a lot of people who are not too confident in their vote. It's just that one. And they feel that voting isn't worth their time. They've lost confidence and faith in the political system, and they just feel that everyone's being greedy and uh, keeping all of the money and the resources at the top. And I mean, they have an argument. I can't just throw those people away for feeling the way they do about the voting process. A lot of things definitely need to be fixed, in terms of making people feel more confident about getting up and voting, and feeling that it's going to improve their lives, improve the community, improve the neighborhood, their city, the policies, and what needs to be done. And, the issues with corrupt politicians and people misusing money. It's so much going on. Another thing that I heard about was Joe's performance in the debate. A couple of post analysis shows I watched after the debate was over, and they was talking about how he looked, and Joe was also sounding like he had a cold. His voice wasn't clear, and he was talking way too fast to sometimes hear some of his points. And certain people were saying that Democratic Party was worried about how that makes Joe look in front of voters, and how that will influence their decision. So they definitely weren't too proud of, his presentation, how he came off in the debate. And you can chalk that up to age or whatever else he had going on. He did go to a Waffle House there in Atlanta after the debate for whatever reason. They have video of that. But yeah, it's the debate still, I think, leaves a lot of questions to be answered, a lot of things that people are still desiring to know before they can finalize and make a decision. Remember, the decision is yours and yours alone. Do your homework, due diligence on both men before you uh, cast your vote in November. And do that for everyone else who's on the ballot in November as well, not just the president, the local people in your city that are running as well. Don't just go out and vote. Don't be a blind voter. I think you hurt yourself and your community more when you do that. Don't just vote for us who they tell you to vote for. You really have to look at track records of all of these politicians and just see what they're doing now and what makes the most sense. Even listening to what they say they want to do, then look at the country and just see, is that possible that it can be done? Maybe it is, but will it take more than 4 years? So those are just different things. And then based on where you are in your life, do you have time to waste? Obviously, no one doesn't. Do you have time to wait? That's probably a better way to say it in terms of what they're trying to improve and where you live at. So just really try and get more politically informed. And so when you go out there and vote, if you do vote, your vote makes more sense. Uh, watch the next debate on September 10th. Check out the Democratic National Convention in August. I'm sure that will be shown on TV, on the internet as well. If the Republicans have one, check that out, depending on, you know, which one you are, conservative, liberal, and just see who makes the most sense to you. I know some people that vote Republican and Democrat just based on what each one is running for in the city they live in and what's going to improve what. So it's not just loyalty to one party. So that's something to think about. And we really just have to take our time with this. I know some people don't feel that the United States is in the best position with this being what that is being offered to be the president. These two, there's people out there who feel it could have been better candidates, but this is what we have to choose from, and we just have to go from there. Let me know how you're feeling politically in the comments, where your loyalties lie, Democrats, Republicans, Independent. Don't be afraid to be honest in the comments, and how you feel about this election year going forward. Like, share, and subscribe as always, and I will continue to follow this presidential election as the months go by. Pretty sure I'll end up doing another video on it, not right after this one, but definitely before November, just to kind of get a recap of things and uh, maybe if people's feelings and positions have changed. Until next time, again, like, share, and subscribe. Put what you think in the comments, and I'm out.